the things you said at the press briefing was that this is not allowed even in the EFF constitution, but if he decides that he wants to come back to the EFF, you are going to make an exception for him. Is that offer still on the table?
That was a demonstration of me not having anything against him as a person. But the EFF has got a constitution. It has got its own membership. It has heard what I said, and it will decide at that moment if that moment presents itself. But I was simply saying, I've got nothing against this guy. I've not done anything to this guy. And even if he calls on me tomorrow, I'll show up, because I will not have some hangovers that, but this guy, when he left, this is what happened. No.
So that was Julius Malema there speaking about what he had said with regards to Floyd Shivambu, that if he wants to return back, then he can return back. So obviously the constitution of the EFF does not allow Floyd Shivambu to return back, but hey, rules are meant to be bent a little, and we've seen these rules being bent a little, here and there. I mean, we've seen it happening with on social media. There are these EFF members, were commenting on how beautiful this white lady was, and Julius Malema even came in on that Twitter account, and was like, she can get the land. So you can see, that some of these rules, EFF, they can bend them. So I tried searching, for a situation where the EFF bent or broke its own rules, and it turns out that there was such an incident that did occur in the past. So this is an incident that occurred in 2019, whereby a court found that EFF leader Malema violated the electoral code of conduct, when they published the personal contact information of a journalist on social media. So that is something that should not be done at all, publishing the contact information of somebody, a phone number, their address, because by publicizing that, so many people are going to be harassing that person by visiting them, calling them, etc. And we've even seen Nasipi Moya complaining about this when she was speaking, and saying there are some DA members that publicized her address on social media. And Nasipi Moya was clearly not happy about that. So these are the reasons, why this is counting as breaking their own rules. So EFF positions themselves as a party that fights, for the oppressed, free speech, no harassment, etc., etc. So that's who they position themselves to be. So they did break the rules there. So if those rules can be bent there, surely maybe they can find a room for Floyd Shivambu to return back, because those two guys, Malema and Floyd, they belong together. I mean, I'm sure you've seen situations whereby there are two people, two guys, when they are together, they are such a formidable force, they cannot be stopped by anyone. But once you separate them, and split them apart, both of them, they are nothing. Obviously, Malema at the moment is showing that he still has what it takes, to move forward. But he still needs that guy, Floyd Shivambu. And as for Floyd himself, without Malema, he is the West without Julius Malema. So do I feel like, is it possible for Floyd to be allowed to return back at the EFF? I think it's possible. Very, very possible, But let me ask others and find out, what they feel about this. Is it possible for EFF to allow Floyd Shivambu to return back to the party. So there we go. I'm standing on it's possible to allow this to happen, and I'm not sure why this thing is searching. It should have just been thinking. So this guy is saying, you know what? In short, it's possible theoretically, but in practice, it would face substantial political and organizational obstacles. Obviously, that is very, very true. And it's not just about the constitution in itself. There are so many EFF members out there that now hate Floyd over the way, he departed. Because for Floyd, it wasn't just about leaving the EFF, it was about the intentions that he had in mind. Because, Floyd had these intentions of trying to destroy the EFF so that it collapses into the MK party. So he left with kind of some bad intentions over the EFF. So because of that, whereby the EFF suffered a high number of high-profile defections, as you can see there, which weakened the party. It is why, there are so many EFF members, even on social media, there are these guys, who are still praying and hoping for Floyd's downfall. So I feel like Floyd is going to run into an issue not of a constitutional obstacle of the EFF or a challenge of bending of the rules of the EFF, but because of EFF members that are angry at Floyd Shivambu over the intentions that he had when he left the EFF. So that's the biggest challenge that Floyd is going to be having. And not only that, there's also an issue of pride. But Malema himself, he wants Floyd to return back. He wants him. But for Floyd, looking at him on his own, you'll be embarrassed to return back. Because when it comes to the issues of pride, I mean, nobody wants, their pride to be poked. Will Floyd accept an invite to return back? At the moment, Floyd Trump is not going to accept this invite up until he sees, how much people are going to vote for Africa Maibuye. So when Africa Maibuye finally flops, that's when, he's going to accept the invitation to return back. But at the present moment, he's not going to accept it up until he sees what Africa Maibuye is going to behave like. So it seems me and this research guy, we are on the same page, Floyd Shivambu definitely wants to return back. Malema wants him back. I'll catch you guys on the next one.